welcome to Women's Wealth, the podcast with me, Joanne. My mission is to educate, inspire, and empower you all to step into your own life of wealth. That feeling of being so rich in your mind, body, and soul. I'm so happy to have you here. Let's get straight into it. Hello, welcome back. Welcome to another episode of Wealth with Joanne. Whether you're watching me over on YouTube or you're listening on your favorite podcast streaming site, welcome. And I would like to ask you all just a little tiny favor. Wherever you're listening or watching today, please hit that like, subscribe, comment, share with a friend, whatever it is that you feel like you're called to do today. Because every single little click of that button really does mean the world to me. So thank you in advance. I've been reflecting over the past few weeks on some things that have popped up on my social media. And it confuses me. So we live in a world today where a human being can identify as an animal. They will dress like an animal. They will eat, sleep, live like an animal. And it's okay. We accept that because we don't want to upset that person. We don't want to hurt their feelings. We want to affirm that, yes, you are indeed a dog, you big furry animal. And we will, not me personally, I've never come across a furry. I'm just talking about what I've seen online, that this is a thing. And we do this in many other areas. The only area I feel like we don't do this is with women. With each other, women. We are the worst at uplifting and supporting each other in our own beliefs, our own selfies, our own accomplishments, the things that we do. And this is what I want to talk about today, because I've seen a few things on social media lately, and I'm just going to name drop just a couple. Just name drop. Kate Moss, Pamela Anderson, Bobby Brown, the one from Stranger Things. These women have been popping up on my social media, and rather than us affirming and supporting, when I say us, I mean women, not me and you. I know we haven't done this, but rather than women supporting them and commenting on their pictures with affirmation of praise and well done, and this is amazing, you look amazing, and I'll go into more detail shortly on some of the things that have been said about those women that I've just mentioned. The comments that other women are leaving are disgusting. And there is a trail of how this affects the everyday woman, because people like you and I, we will see these comments on social media, and we may think that these celebrities, they look amazing. Yes, we know they may have had a bit of Botox, they've had filler, they've had whatever, but that's up to them. I don't understand why we are still shaming for that. If people want to do that, let them do it. If that's not your bag, then you don't do it. And we shouldn't be shaming either way. We should not be shaming if someone has had a little bit of Botox or filler. Because when we strip it down, they've probably had the disgusting comments when they haven't had the Botox and the filler. Oh, she looks old. Sarah Jessica Parker, for example, she gets so many negative comments because she looks old and she's in her 50s. I think she might be nearly 60. I'm not quite sure of her age. So people like you and I, then, we get to a certain age, or when we get to a certain age, and we've seen all of the negative press and the negative things that are said about these women that we look at and think look amazing. How does that then affect our own mental health and the way that we feel when we look in the mirror? I saw a video, and I'll try and find this to bring up and pop it in here, and it was Demi Moore. Demi Moore is not a he. It was Demi Moore, and she had won an Oscar, I think. I don't really know because I don't follow Hollywood like that, but she was talking. She looked amazing. She obviously, she's had her cheeks filled because her cheeks were very prominent, but it was also the light, and she's obviously contoured and got makeup on. But she I actually saw her and I was like, oh my God, she looks amazing. But of course I went to the comments because these videos keep popping up on my algorithm. The comments were disgusting. They were, oh my God, what has she done to her face? She looked better 20 years ago. Oh, I'm sorry. What? Like, why are we comparing other women to themselves 20 years prior? Of course she's going to look different. Whether she's had work done or not, she will look different. And it's similar to the comments that I saw for Pamela Anderson, that she looked better in Baywatch. What? She was 20. Of course, in 2025, nearly 40 years after Baywatch, if she did look exactly the same, I'd be a little bit worried. I'd be thinking that Pamela Anderson's some kind of vampire. She is meant to look different. She is in her 60s. And the reason I keep bringing up Pamela Anderson as well is because I love that she is going to these events and she is not wearing makeup. That should be inspiring in itself. But oh no. Not for Karen online, because Karen thinks that a little bit of makeup does a lot. You should be wearing makeup, Pamela Anderson. And these are the things that I think, women, what are we doing? Why are we not affirming that you look amazing, Pamela, without makeup? Because Pamela that lives down the road is probably going to see that and think, oh my God, I don't need to wear makeup because Pamela Anderson's not wearing makeup. I don't need to go and have a nip and a tuck and or whatever because these celebrities are not doing it. And it does filter down to us. Of course it does. If it didn't filter down, most of us in our 30s, 40s, I know most women that I know have had some kind of Botox filler. They've had some kind of injectable, collagen injections. There's been something, chemical peels. I've had peels, I've had high FU, and I've had the microneedling, all of these things. Yes, to keep my skin in good condition, but also because of what we see online, that it's not okay to look like you're getting old, or it's not okay to feel comfortable in your own skin. So there's all of these things out there that are shoved down our faces that we feel like we need because we're seeing how people get treated. And this has been going on for years and years and years. And the reason I want to talk about it today is just flipping back to the affirmation, the affirming, the support that we're giving to lots of other different, I don't know, I can't call them a minority, or are they minority? I don't know what to label these groups of people. So we're giving these affirmations to all of these different groups of people, but not each other, women, not each other. We're not supporting each other. So I just want to mention Josh Saiter, I think his name is. I'll pop a picture of him here. Now, what he did last year was, so he on his social media, he suddenly came out as a trans woman. He was wearing a dress, he was wearing makeup, he still had a big hairy chest and his tattoos, and he kept his areas, his parts and his hairy legs and all of the things. He literally was a man in a dress. And I can't remember if I mentioned this in another podcast or I just mentioned it out loud, but I kind of knew that he was just being a big troll, because I was just like, this cannot be real. If this is real, this is crazy. Anyway, 6 months later, I think it was, after 6 months of doing the whole thing of I'm just living in my true authentic self and wearing the dresses and talking about why he was taking the hormones and he got his girl voice, and he then did expose himself, not like that. He exposed the truth that it was a big fat troll. He was trolling. He wanted to show the world, social media, just how easy and how ridiculous at times it is that people are doing this affirmation. So he was trolling. If you've not seen it, go back, have a little look. He went to the extreme. It was extreme, which is kind of like why it was obvious. He then came out and said, yeah, I was trolling. It was a social experiment. But he had so much affirmation, so much of don't listen to the haters. You look amazing. You're a strong, independent woman. You go, girl. You look beautiful, and all of the things. However, as a real biological woman, Pamela Anderson, for example, doesn't get any of that from other women. And I wonder why. And we're going to get into the why. But yeah, definitely check out Josh if you're not sure of that story. It's very interesting. And it does raise questions of why are we all so eager, so happy to affirm these other things, but we can't log on to social media. And now when I say we, this is not every single woman. I would say though 70% of the comments on the posts that I'll share today are negative. There is the odd woman, there's me, who's standing up for Kate Moss, saying that, she looks amazing, but then 70% are negative. So there's only 30%, whereas I would say on the other posts of people, asking for affirmation elsewhere, it's switched. So why do we do this? Why is this a thing? What's going on? I really think there's a few things we can pick apart here as to why we are doing this still. I think the first thing is social conditioning. And I hate to say it because it sounds very toxic feminine, the patriarchy, but it is social conditioning and patriarchy. No matter how much we might not want to admit it, or we want to move away from, the patriarchy rule the world, that it is still, bubbling away. So from early on, women were and are still very much judged on their appearance, on the way that they hold themselves, the way that they act, the way that they are able to attract men, their behavior, So from very early on, we're kind of told that if you act in this certain way as a woman, then this is a positive. This is how you're meant to act, and this is the way the woman acts, and this is how you're meant to look, and this is going to attract male attention, and that's what you want. You want the male attention, and this is how you're going to get it. So when that happens, and we're all doing the same thing, and we're all being told the same thing, that dress this way, do this, find this, you'll get that male attention that you want, it then kind of puts us in opposition with each other straight away, because we're all trying to get to the same endpoint, which is the male attention. Now, this is obviously not for everyone, but I'm just really, really generalizing here. So it's kind of what we're told. It's the end point as a grown woman. You want to get married, and we've got these gender roles, and so that's the very traditional. So I'm just going very early on. Now, because that from hundreds, maybe even thousands of years ago, is then ingrained into us, and we carry an element of that around with us even today. And it's obvious through our social media posts, and the way that we look at other women is also carrying that. We're in the hangover of this. If you have time after this episode, go back and listen to my witch wound episode, because I dive deep into how this manifests from when we were all accused of being witches, and you'd have to, expose the girl next door as being a witch even when she wasn't a witch, because you yourself didn't want to get burned at the stake or hung or drowned, whatever it was. So this conditioning then leads us to that competition, to that mistrust, that distrust, that we don't trust each other because we're all trying to get to this one end point. Again, I'm just generalizing there. I know we don't all want to just get to that one end point of the male attention, but that whether that's the end point or not, it is there. It's that competition that, my hair's longer than hers, I've got this, she hasn't got this, she's got this, and then we've got the judgment and the comparison. So we have that there because of the patriarchy and how we're told to compete with each other. And we also, from that, so if I was drawing a diagram here, we'd have a stem here of internalized misogyny. Now, just because we're not men doesn't mean that we can't have internal misogynistic traits. For example, times when we may say, what is she wearing? Why is she dressed like that? Women shouldn't act like that. Women shouldn't do that. Take yourself back to the early 2000s. So when I was a teenager, and it was the whole Ladettes, and we should, women drinking beer and going out and watching the football. And I guess I was a little bit of I went through my Ladette phase, but then, that then had that label, and it wasn't really a way that we should act. Women shouldn't drink pints and go out wearing football tops. Women should be sitting down and drinking wine. These real traditional, this is how you're meant to act. Again, this then, who don't conform, and we look at them and think, oh my God, why is she doing that? What, we have this internal judgment of, you shouldn't be doing that because you're a woman. So again, we've got that internalized misogyny there. Even when we're women, we have that. And I'll hold my hands up to say that I've had it. I probably still have little bits of it inside me, because it's very difficult to decondition yourself after all of these years of living in this certain way and having these certain beliefs. I'm very aware of it now. And I would hope, touch wood, that I could catch these thoughts now if they do come in, and replace them with a loving thought, because what I send out comes back to me, and I very, very much believe that. So a little homework for you, if you do catch yourself looking at a woman and what she's doing, and you have that like, oh my God, see if you can replace it with a supportive thought. You don't necessarily have to agree with what she's doing or saying, or do it for yourself, but we send support, we send love from one woman to another. And then we have the media and cultural narratives, and mainstream media are very good at pitting women against each other. We have whole shows where women do this, and if you watch reality TV, and you've got Love Island and those type of shows that we're then watching, and we're seeing this element of competition because of the way that a woman looks or the way that she's acting. And the rivalry is celebrated more than a friendship. Like, how often do we see female friendships really celebrated? What we will see is the gossip and the backstories and the backstabbing when two women don't get along. So again, this is coming through, affecting us directly, because we're reading it, we're seeing it, we're absorbing this energy. And I do also think a lot of this comes from a scarcity mindset, that only a certain amount of women can be beautiful. Only a certain amount of women can look a certain way. Only certain women can be beautiful or look a certain way. And then that puts the women who are not living in that way, straight away it makes them feel insecure. They may then feel elements of jealousy. And then what do we do to try and make ourselves feel better when we feel that? Is we bring someone else down. So when we feel jealous or resentment, or we look at someone else and think, oh my God, it makes you feel bad because you're looking at her, and instead of thinking, oh my God, she looks amazing, well done, like, good on her, and role model, like that type of mentality, we're then like, she's had work done. Instead of just being able to say, oh my God, she looked good. She's had Botox, she's had fillers, she's had this, she's had that, she's had a nip and a tuck, and oh, look what money can get you. And it very much links then to, again, this scarcity mindset, because we don't have it, we don't want other people to have it. And this scarcity mindset then reinforces our own beliefs that only a certain amount of people can be like that. It's never really told to us. We're never told as just normal women, me and you, we're not celebrities, we're not Hollywood movie stars, that we can also be beautiful. We can also have nice things. We can also, do things, but in our own way. We're never really told that. So then we look at these celebrities, and this is where the hatred and those internalized misogynistic comments come from, that I'm going to share shortly, that I picked up on this week on social media. Because no one's ever told us or reinforced that, no, you're also very beautiful. You're also very kind and caring, and you do all these amazing things. Because we're always putting these other people on a pedestal instead of putting ourselves on a pedestal. And then we tear them down because we don't want them to be on that pedestal, because it makes us feel bad. And then, of course, on social media, we have, these social media platforms are designed to get information out quickly to a lot of people, getting people reading, getting people spreading their opinions, and it puts them people in this safety net of anonymity. Yes, anonymity. So we see other people writing it, and then we're like, yeah, she has had work done. Let's not give her any praise. She doesn't deserve praise because she doesn't look like that. She doesn't deserve to be told that she looks beautiful because she's had things done to herself. And then we see someone else do it. And then it's in this loop of negative comments, and then the algorithm picks up on this, but it's okay because no one knows who we are. It's all anonymous. And this then feeds, and like I said, this is how it then feeds into us. It's an echo chamber. It comes from social media down into our daily lives. It comes from social media to us seeing a woman passing us in the street, and then all of a sudden we're like, she's had work done. And we're disgusted by it. Instead of just letting her do what she needs to do. And if she looks good, let's just say it. Why can't we just say, yeah, we might know that she's had work done. You know, it's like, no one ever telling me that I like your hair. My hair is obviously not this naturally half and half. But then holding it against someone because I can't tell her I like your hair because it's clear that she's had highlights. That's not natural. But we've taken it one step further, that we're disgusted by it, and we're really nasty, and we just not supporting of the women. And I know I keep repeating this, but it's really upsetting that we are still not over this after all of these years. So I'm going to show you some of the examples that I found this week. So I'll pop them. If you're listening on a podcast, I will go through. So let me just bring up my first one here now. And if you're listening to this, it's a reel that I found of Kate Moss, and it tells us she's recently walked the Victoria's Secret runway, and this is what people felt like they needed to say. It's good they're representing the elderly. Like, she's 53. Is she expecting? Did she eat too many tacos before the show? Beautiful walk, but totally dislike the opened stomach area. Not attractive for anyone. Too old and saggy for that kind of walk. She looks uncomfortable and washed out. Congratulations on her bundle of joy. So they're talking about her tummy here. She looks amazing. I wish these grandmas would just stay home, miserable and liquors up. This makes my eyes hurt. Bring back the young honeys. She looks amazing, honestly. And then she was told as she was younger she was too thin before, and now at 50 her tummy is too big. Sorry, she's 50. Of course, she's too old. So I went to the comments. I commented, and I put, this is the time when iconic. You know, the Kim Kardashian, iconic. It's iconic. Iconic can be used in the right context. In a world full of Kardashians, be a Kate Moss. I wrote that. I love Kate Moss. I've got her book over there. I regularly look at what Kate Moss is wearing just to see what I can wear, because I feel like, well, I was going to say we've got the same style. I've copied her style. I like trainers. I like jeans. I like rock and roll with a little bit of chic. And I feel like that's what Kate Moss, I've modeled myself on Kate Moss. Anyway, someone felt like they needed to comment on my comment. So they put, would you like your daughter to be famous for abusing drugs and alcohol and promiscuity? Now, I did reply. I know. I don't have a daughter, so no thoughts on that one. She was also a supermodel in the 90s and well known before she started taking drugs in the 2000s. So she's not famous for that. Drugs or no drugs, I stand by my opinion. In a world full of Kardashians, be a Kate Moss. Now, why are we holding her youth against her? But why don't we do this with men? Because when men do it, they're famous, they're rock and roll stars, and it's celebrated. And, you know, they were promiscuous and they did all of the things. And, you know, she was young when she was doing that. She would have been in her 30s, early 40s. I'm not quite sure. I haven't got the exact dates. But we all remember when she was on the front page of the Sun newspaper, and it was Cocaine Kate. And, you know, she wasn't the only one there. Yes, she was the supermodel there. But why are we still holding that against her? Haven't we all done things when we were younger? Some people, obviously this post was created to highlight the horrible comments. So there are a lot more people supporting her here. People saying, are they blind? I'd like to see the bodies. You know, why are we still doing this though? Why is it that other women feel like they have to comment? Why are we not saying, oh my God, Kate Moss is 50. She's still rocking on the catwalk. She looks amazing. We don't need to comment whether she's had Botox. We don't need to comment whether she's had any work done. We don't need to comment on her tummy and ask if she's pregnant. You know, common sense probably tells us that no, she's not pregnant because she is in her 50s now. You know, why are we not doing that? Whereas I think when a man does things, no one comments. No one we didn't have all of this backlash when, when men run out. David Beckham, he does, no one's like, oh, he's too old now, we should go back in. They welcome it. Why is it so different for women? For the post here about Demi Moore, someone's put, if you told me Demi Moore was 62 years old, I wouldn't believe you. How is this possible? And she does. She looks amazing. And I think recently she has had some things taken away. So there was a time when she had cheek filler and they've definitely gone. Anyway, that doesn't matter anyway. Comments. Nothing to do with age, everything to do with money. Demi Moore has had a lot of plastic surgery. Please don't put this type of pressure on regular women. Nothing wrong with aging. Now, where did that pressure come from for her to feel like she has to have plastic surgery? Why is everyone acting like she didn't have any work? Does it matter? This isn't age. This is plastic surgery. Anyone can look like this with money. These are all women, by the way. All of these have got pictures that they're all women. They're little tiny profile pictures of women. Great, but for us working class women that can't afford it, it's awful. Okay, so you're commenting on that and you're commenting about working class women. So other working class women looking at how amazing she looks, here's the picture again, that are we going to look at her and think, oh my God, so you think she looks terrible, so how am I meant to get through life? So how do we change this? I could spend all day going through the comments, but I'm not going to, because I feel like it's bringing my energy down. Now, like I said at the very start, more self-awareness, catching yourself when you feel like you might have these thoughts. Now, of course, I know that everyone listening to this, no way in hell you would ever write comments like this. And I only commented because my comment was nice. I was being nice about Kate Moss. I love Kate Moss. I know I've already said it, but I love her. And I felt like I needed to defend her further when that other person asked me, about the daughter. Like, so what? And I wasn't bad-mouthing the Kardashians either. They do their thing. I prefer Kate Moss. I prefer Kate Moss over the Kardashians. End of. And even that in itself, I'm a fully grown woman and I'm deciding who I prefer. Anyway, that's beside the point. Making sure as well that you are celebrating. Now, this is something that I am going to do more of. It's not that I don't do it, but I'm quite an introvert. So I always feel a little bit, when my friends do things, I will, it's amazing, I love you, you look amazing. I don't always write it on their pictures. And again, I think that might be an age thing that I don't, me and my friends, we don't splash each other's accounts. We love each other when we see each other. But I am going to make more of a conscious effort to write on women's pictures, to say well done, to congratulate, and step out of my comfort zone of just, my little introvert self, because women need to hear it and I want to be there to support. And I'm also going to start calling it out more when I see it with kindness. And what I have been doing when I've seen people doing this, and I've just put in, I have said women need to support women, do better. Exactly the whole moral of this podcast today. We need to do better. So even if you're not commenting on people's pictures, vulgar stuff like that, can you do better by calling out the women that are? Can you stop your friend when she starts to bitch about Debbie at work and how Debbie wore an outfit that she shouldn't have worn? Can you stop your friend and just remind her that we're meant to be supporting each other and Debbie can wear exactly what she wants? You're then supporting other women, even if it's just that one thing. Stopping your friends, if they do that, teach them how to also do the right thing. Teach them how to be better. Hope that you can reflect today on the things that we've shared and where this need to put other women down comes from. And homework today is to go uplift one woman. Comment on their poster, comment on their picture, tell them they look amazing, say it to their face, send them a message. Because for me, doing it even more, it also changes your own energy. And again, what you give out, you get back. So this is This is all the wealth work that I'm trying to do with women as well. Because if we're loving each other, we're going to love ourselves. If we're able to tell another woman, oh my God, you look amazing, you've done this, you did, forgetting about when they've had any work done. We don't need to talk about that. Let women just do what they want to do. I predict, I don't know if it's a prediction or just a wish, if women held each other up more, we would all probably not reach for the things that we reach for, because we won't feel the need to, because we won't have that element of competition. We won't feel like we need to, have Botox, fillers, facelifts, all of the things, because who are we in competition with? Why are we trying to cover up what we really look like if we all support each other on what we really look like, if that makes sense? So let me know what you think. And if you are going through a time when you're looking in the mirror and you're not feeling that love, please reach out to me. I would love to share with you the recent 7-day Love Your Face yoga challenge that I shared, where we work on mindset, we work on affirmation, we work on your breath, we work on you looking in the mirror and really loving what you see. So if you're not hearing it from other women, you can hear it from yourself when you look in the mirror. Anyway, let me know what you think. Please reach out to me, and I will see you all in the next episode.